Mess with the IRS. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even take your home or business. That's all true. But it's also true that there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. It's one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, even tens of thousands. Nobody knows this program like us, the experts at Optima Tax Relief. We have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we've resolved over $500 million in tax debt for our clients. We'll stand between you and the IRS and fight to get you the best deal possible. Don't mess with the IRS. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Tee it up at the Golf Mart with the new fall arrivals from Mizuno. Discover layers of feel with the new MP20 range. The MP20 is the ultimate muscle back. The MP20 MMC uses multi-material construction for legendary feel and performance. And the MP20 HMB is a playable set of hollow, tungsten-enhanced irons for many skill levels. Let us help you get custom fit for free today. The Golf Mart, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
It's iPhone season at Sprint, Polly.
Wow, that's exciting. Switch to Sprint and get
the new iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro with amazing all-new camera systems. And now you can get iPhone 11
for $0 per month when you trade in your iPhone 7 or newer in any condition.
Seriously, any condition.
And with Sprint's 100% total satisfaction guarantee, you can try out the network and see the savings for yourself.
Happy iPhone season! Don't you just love that?
What's not to love?
I just love it.
Celebrate iPhone season at Sprint. Switch to Sprint and get the new iPhone 11 for $0 per month when you trade in your iPhone 7 or newer in any condition. Get yours right now at your local Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
iPhone 11 64 gigabytes $0 a month, and iPhone 11 Pro 64 gigabyte $12.50 a month, both after $29.17 a month credit for 18 months with Sprint Flex lease applied within 2 bills. Requires new line of service. Cancel early remaining balance. New coverage and offer not available everywhere. 30-day guarantee. Select exclusions apply. 30 activation fee, taxes and restrictions apply.
Hello, I'm Mark Riccobono, President of the National Federation of the Blind. We know that blindness is not the characteristic that defines you or your future. Every day, we raise expectations of and for blind people. Low expectations hold people back, but blindness does not have to. I'm a blind husband, father, and baseball fan living in Baltimore, Maryland. Being part of the National Federation of the Blind has helped me live the life I want. If you or a loved one is dealing with blindness, the National Federation of the Blind can help. Over the last 7 decades, we have helped tens of thousands of people live successfully with vision loss, and we can help you too. Visit nfb.org to find the resources and support you need to live the life you want.
This is the home of San Diego sports. KLSD AM and KGB FM HD2. And now K277DH, San Diego.
And welcome on into the nation's longest running and highest rated radio show on the concept of sports investing. This is Sports Investors Weekly, sponsored, of course, by the good people over at freewinners.net. Visit them online, www.freewinners.net. All of your sports investment information is there, including the man sitting next to me here, who I'll introduce in a second. I'm your host, Damon Roberts. And as always, I'm joined by that man, the one and only Mr. Paul Nolan. Paul Nolan, how are you?
I am well, my friend. I hope you're doing well, too.
Very good. And joining us live from Las Vegas, as he always does each and every... Why don't you guys go ahead and just...
Did you know we had a Pinterest page?
No. I told Dawn to stop doing that crap. I told her because she started feeding me all these questions. I'm like, I don't want to answer all these questions. I was like...
Why do we... I don't even know how Pinterest...
888-366-3733. Let's get the 3 for free out immediately, because the response last couple weeks has been so overwhelming. People are calling Paul's office and going, I can't get to the free 3 for free. Call early today. Call now. 888-366-3733. 3 huge college games on the 3 for free right now. Auburn, Florida. How about that game? That's on there. We're going to talk about that. Baylor and Kansas State, we'll talk about that. That's on there. And Washington-Stanford is game number 3. All 3 absolutely free to all callers on the recorded message right now, 888-366-3733, 888-366-3733, 888-366-3733. Paul Nolan, lots to talk about from the week that was, but just another huge winning, consistent week for you guys. More people, record calls, record response, and I would say right now probably record results from you and your team.
Well, 5-1 on the free picks this weekend, not including the 2 free picks I gave on the air. We gave out Tampa Bay plus the 9 on Saturday's show last week, and then we gave out the under in the New Orleans-Dallas game. I mean, that's 2 more winners right there. So free picks, just keep on cruising along. But that's not even where the money's made. The money is made by having a consultant, having a game plan, having a full workup of what your risk threshold should be. What is your, income? What is your savings like? What is your debt-to-income ratio? Now we take a small sliver of that, use it towards the betting market, and then within that budget you create for yourself, then we play 3 to 5% on the executive club. So, guys, without a real game plan, without any real leadership, without an understanding of the market unto itself, you're really not going to be able to do this on your own. You might have a good time on your own. You might hit 50-50 on your own, and if you do keep it on your own, you do go it alone, start with a ledger. Have a bankroll that you can afford to risk for the year. At least give yourself a chance. If you're not going to get real professional help, at least do 2 things on your own. Start with a ledger, write and document every game you use and your lines, and also keep yourself a budget, because a lot of people out there could have a gambling problem. If you do, just seek help, because this is a very volatile business. If you're not doing it right, you're probably going to get yourself hurt.
We'll talk about that later in the show. If you're not treating it like a business, you probably should be. We'll give you some tips on how to do that. 888-366-3733. Your 3 for free is available right now on the recorded message. Auburn, Florida, Baylor, Kansas State, and Washington, Stanford. All 3 games today, absolutely free to all callers on the recorded message right now. 888-366-3733. Plus, again, here we go. It's a college Saturday. What can that only mean? It means Jimmy Tags under the radar game. I believe this is number 4 in a row he goes for today. Jimmy Tags, let me bring you in here. And I know this is a game, again, narrowed the game down early in the week, been hammering the game all week, ready for the game today, and I know you love this one.
Well, Paulie was right on when he said that, listen, call up and get the free game, start a dialogue with us, let us know what your intention is, what you want to do with this, and what level you want to take it to. Look, the free games are a precursor, okay? We're not going to tell people to go out and bet the real money on the free games. We will tell them to get involved with the free games, but where we make the money is on the games that we're involved with. There's a game today that I absolutely love, and I'm going to take that money on this ball game. I'm going to be as creative as I can. I'm going to turn that into more money on Paul's game tomorrow. And for anybody who's out there listening, more importantly, when you make our phone ring and you hold the wire and you speak to somebody, have a game plan. That's the most important thing you can do. We talk about it since week 1, is structure and foundation. If you don't have a combination of both of those things when you're making a phone call, then there's no reason for you to call. So give us a call, because understand one thing. If you want to do this the right way, your fate lies in your hands. All we'll do is lead you the right way. I promise we won't let you down.
888-366-3733. Paul Nolan, we talk about doing this as a business all the time on this show, and that's the one thing the last couple weeks, a lot of what we do is a limited game.
And a very pleasant Saturday morning. We are off and running. Good morning, Facebook viewers, Biz Talk Radio. You are back with your garden buddies, Bryan Main, Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco right next to Tiger. Well, actually not right next to Tiger, but on the same plane as I look at both Tiger and John.
On the same playing field.
The same playing field.
Distance.
And let's see, that would be Tiger, John would be to your left, and John is to my right. You are to my left, and we've confused everybody. Except if you're watching on Facebook Live. Thank you so much. It is 7 minutes after the hour. A good show lined up today. Thank you so much for being with us. Melinda Myers will be our guest today. Facebook Live, Tiger, right?
Yep. She'll be on the phone with us for the first hour. Be talking some gardening topics with her. You know, Melinda's always a great wealth of information, and we're looking forward to hearing how she's surviving up there where she lives. So,
yeah,
lots of weather up there.
Yeah, lots of weather. And you're right. As far as information, she's one of the best in terms of coming away with things that you didn't know beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's real good about that. John normally is, too.
And then the second hour, we're going to be talking a local San Diego woman here that's focused on school garden curriculum, Kaitlin Mitchell, and we'll be having her in studio. And so we'll be talking about her passion for getting kids educated in gardening.
Okay, and that is second hour.
Yep.
So first hour, those keeping track via telephone, Melinda Myers from Milorganite, and the second hour, live in studio guest.
Yeah.
All
Lots
set
of fun.
to go.
Lots of fun.
2 hours. Can you do it? Are you ready?
Wow.
Are you in shape, John? Come on.
No, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
You did your Pelotron this morning.
Did you know that it's getting colder at night?
It is getting colder.
Yeah.
I like it.
I notice it more living in a trailer. I mean, it is so cold at night. I guess I could run the heat at night, but something that goes against the grain trying to run the heat at night.
Yeah.
If you're in California, you're supposed to just put on covers at night, right?
I think that is so funny, especially because I live in a trailer.
Yeah.
And for those that have no idea about your personal situation, that sounds kind of funky. But for those that don't know, John is building a house from scratch, from the ground up. You were going to do it from the sky down, but you thought
advised against that.
Ground up was a lot better, right?
I was just thinking that you said I'm building it from scratch, and it's going really slow, and I think it's because I just don't have enough scratch.
Enough, that's good. Not enough scratch to keep it going. So we're going to be talking, of course, gardening, horticulture, whatever's on your mind. And those watching on Facebook Live, of course, we urge you to...
good morning to everybody on Facebook that's posting good mornings.
Yeah, and post your questions and comments right there on Facebook as we welcome you to the show this morning. A lot of great information. And again, this show today, watching on Facebook Live, will be replayed next week on Biz Talk Radio, so you'll never miss anything.
By the way, the reason I brought up the cold at night wasn't because I wanted sympathy that I live in a trailer, but because that affects the way you water plants, at least in areas of the country where plants are still growing, right?
Right.
And they don't need as much water, and also maybe the time of day you water. I notice that because I always have a tendency to overwater everything.
Guilty.
When the nights are cold, I think it's probably better to water at least by midday if you can, or in the morning. Otherwise, if you water the plants at night, the temperature is going to go down, it's going to stay cold, and then you're going to have soils that are cold and wet, which is usually not good for tropicals for sure.
Definitely not.
And plants that might rot, succulents, dry plants. Oh, hey, a thought just popped into my head.
Whoa. Good. Been a while since we've had a thought from you.
Yeah.
Thursday, I spoke to the Pacific Rose Society up at the LA Arboretum. And I walked up, and it's been a while since I've been to the Arboretum and walked around. They've got some fantastic gardens up there.
Oh, yeah.
And the nice thing about the Arboretum is you can see a lot of trees in their mature sizes. And, you know, sometimes a plant can be like a Great Dane puppy. You know, it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
But it's going to grow, and it's going to be big and unruly.
Look at the size of those petals for that age. Huge.
So they had a Madagascar garden that had some really cool plants in it. And I was surprised. I knew this, but I was surprised to see in the garden that they had vinca. Because vinca is from... or periwinkles, or whatever you want to call them, are from Madagascar. What is the genus? Catharanthus?
Oh, I don't know.
Madagascar Cantharanthus.
Oh, you're cute.
Now, which vinca are we talking about?
The Vinca rosea.
Okay.
It sounds like a wine. I'll have a Vinca Rosea, please.
Yeah, but I think that it's one of those where the taxonomy's changed, and I think it's actually Catharanthus, but
they had some Vinca in there, huh?
I'm not sure. Yeah, and then they had a lot of blooming Pachypodium.
Oh yeah.
And Pachypodium blossoms remind me of Plumeria. You know, they're big white flowers, really
huge.
nice. But the thing there were two things I was really impressed with. One was in the Madagascar garden, and I have a new small tree that I'm growing, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's begins with a U, and it has flowers on it that look like a black-eyed Susan.
So the orange with the black around it?
Yeah, I think it's...
And like a rutabaga black-eyed Susan or the vine black-eyed Susan?
The vine.
So it has that small orange with black eyes.
I think it's Uncarina is the species. But it's a tree it's a succulent tree, and it gets to be about maybe 10 feet tall is all.
Nice.
But the plants there, they had hundreds and hundreds of these blooms on them.
Mm-hmm.
And each one was about the size of a silver dollar. If anyone listening is over the age of 50, they'll know what we're talking about. And then the other plant was in the Australian garden was the Brachiochiton rupestris.
How do you remember?
Which one's that one?
That's the bottle tree that looks like a bottle.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's huge. It's fat.
I could not recall all this information.
They have a couple of
those. Give me the name again, John.
You know, you can go back and listen to the show whenever you want.
No, they have a couple of those at the San Diego Zoo by the rhinoceros exhibit.
Yeah,
well, thank you for pinpointing that right next to the rhinoceros exhibit. That's very good.
Well, the Brachiochiton that's normally sold is
Brachiochiton
populinum, right?
Yes. Yep.
And that's called a bottle tree, but it really doesn't look like a bottle tree.
It's got a bulbous trunk about all that's
but
it.
not like these. The rupestris deserves the name bottle tree.
Say bulbous trunk again. That's what I caught out of that information.
But anyway, all these plants that are in the Madagascar garden there and the Australian garden are drought-tolerant plants. And then they have a drought-tolerant garden over there or a water-thrifty garden.
So suffice to say, you were impressed.
Well,
yeah, it really was. And then there's, in San Diego, we have a water-thrifty garden over in El Cajon, right?
Yeah, Cuyamaca. They have a water conservation garden. But correct me in saying...
That's one of my favorite things to do.
Exactly.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
But I feel like the Madagascar climate is very in line with Southern California.
Depends what part of Madagascar you're from, because
but that's the thing.
There's tropics.
Are you looking at the latitude?
No. I'm not even saying about the latitude, because a lot of people say, oh, the Mediterranean in
is close.
Australia is very in line. But like you're saying right now, John, like Madagascar, just like Southern California, we have tropics, we have mountains, we have desert,
right,
and we have coast. And Madagascar has all those things too. Where Australia, it's in line with us, but I just feel it's got coast and then desert.
And desert.
It doesn't have mountains. It doesn't have the same geographic things that we have. That
they have Ayers Rock.
We're very
close. I know he's always going to say something that's going to counter what I'm saying.
We're very close to that in terms of water and then desert. But then as you go inland, I guess you could get technical and say we have coast, beaches, coast, mountains, deserts.
Yeah, we
do
have mountains.
But I just feel Madagascar has a lot of climates like we have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's very cool, because a lot of the plants that they have there's some place in Southern California it would work.
And we invite any Madagascar experts to chime in this morning on Facebook if you're familiar with Madagascar and the climate.
And we're not talking about the kids movie.
Yeah, not the kids movie, exactly.
They have lemurs. We don't have lemurs.
I love lemurs.
Yeah, we should get some.
How about sloth? Are you a sloth fan?
No. They're more Amazonian.
Yeah. And they take their time with everything.
They're a lot easier to catch than a lemur.
True.
Vet talk on Garden America.
Yeah. Whatever you want to talk about. Hey, we are coming up on a break here very soon, so we're going to try to get Melinda Myers on the phone.
Yep.
We did not do our test beforehand, so hopefully this will work out. We should be fine. Don't need one. Tiger's very confident this morning. So with that in mind, we are going to take a break. Welcome Facebook Live. Those of you watching and listening to this show again next week will be replayed on Biz Talk Radio. So that said, Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, welcome to your Saturday morning. This is Garden America. Welcome to Biz Talk Radio and Facebook Live. Coming right back.
Learn Bud Light Crisp Code. Lesson 6. Wow, that's crisp.
Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
So everybody in San Diego knows Wawanesa has low rates on auto insurance, but did you know they have great rates on homeowners insurance too? Wawanesa offers low rates and great coverage for California homeowners. You can save up to 20% when you bundle your home and auto. Plus, a caring and experienced claim staff is always there to help their customers when they need it most, so that claim doesn't become a train wreck. Call them at 877-WAWANESA. That's 877-WAWANESA, or visit wawanesa.com. San Diego's best kept secret.
Pima Medical Institute is now enrolling for our certificate programs. Visit pmi.edu.
It's Eddie. Bank of America wants to know, what would you like the power to do? I'm speaking today with Rick Bregman, Regional President from Bank of America right here in San Diego.
So, Rick, how does Bank of America get involved in the community aspect of things here in San Diego?
As you know, homelessness is becoming a bigger challenge for San Diego. And so what we've been doing is really two-pronged. One is we're helping to finance affordable housing projects here all over the county, trying to create more supply so that we can get people off the streets and into either temporary or permanent housing.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that we've been doing for many, many years is working with the service providers, the wraparound service providers, and those are basic services such as food. Right? We're working with our food banks here in San Diego. We're working with mental health professionals for our homeless population. Many of those are, unfortunately, our veterans. Homelessness is a complex issue. It requires complex solutions. That's the approach we're taking, though.
It sounds like Bank of America is really wanting to be of getting in there and helping out San Diegans.
It's really what we're all about. We believe in what we call shared success. And so as our company continues to do well, we continue to invest heavily back into the community.
Well, thanks for being here. Find out how Bank of America can help you at bankofamerica.com or stop by your local branch.
Safe Auto knows you like a lot of stuff, including saving money.
I like perks and waterfalls, old flip-flops and overalls, smell of brand new tennis balls, saving money and you.
Well, I like chess and chicken wings, pony rides and snorkeling, soap operas and front porch swings, saving money and you.
Let Safe Auto help you save on car insurance so you can get back to all the other things you love at safeauto.com.
And welcome back on this Saturday morning here. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Garden America along with Bryan Main. John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Hope you're having a good weekend. You had a good week. And spending some time with us this morning. Thank you so much as we broadcast live from the iHeart Media and Entertainment Studios here in beautiful Southern California, San Diego. Glad to have you along. And again, today, Facebook Live, this very same show, you can hear the replay on Biz Talk Radio next week. It is 21 minutes after the hour. Tiger, I think we've taken care of business except for John's quote of the week, which we'll get to, and then bring on Melinda Myers.
All right.
Yeah, this week's quote may be a little late because it refers to early autumn, and I think we're full on autumn now.
That's okay.
But it's from May Sarton, who is a writer from around the turn of the last century.
I think you're right, yeah.
And she said, I long for the bulbs to arrive, for early autumn chores are melancholy, but the planting of the bulbs is the work of hope and always thrilling. I kind of feel that way.
Yeah, when it comes to bulbs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's thrilling?
Yeah, it is thrilling. You haven't seen the way I plant bulbs.
Oh, that's funny.
Why don't you get closer to that mic, Tiger,
Gotcha.
there.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, let's bring on our fantastic guest.
Yeah, so speaking, not speaking of bulbs, but someone that also knows what she's talking about when it comes to bulbs, Melinda Myers is joining us this morning. Good morning, Melinda. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. And I had to laugh because last year I planted 1,000 bulbs. You know, it seemed like a good idea when I ordered them and really bad when they had to get in the ground. But then spring comes, and the poet must have written this in spring because that's when you forget how painful it was to put all those bulbs in the ground.
1,000 bulbs. Wow.
Yeah, it seemed like a really good idea. What can I say?
You know, planting or picking out bulbs or ordering bulbs is not much different than buying packets of seed.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, right?
But the thing with seed is you can put them in the drawer where they belong. The bulbs, you know, are living and they've got to go in the ground.
Well,
that's a good point.
You know, the other issue with bulbs, and when we were in England, do you remember there was a few gardens that the bulbs were wrapping up, John, and they were going to be like pulling them out.
Yeah.
But we got to see them where bulb catalogs are very they show off well, right? And so you see this flower that you're like, I can't live without it.
You're so enamored with it.
Yeah, and then like Melinda's saying, but then spring comes around and you're like, oh, you know, I waited all months and it's
That's
not
what that was.
It's not exactly how I thought it was going to be, or you know, it's not the red that I saw in the catalog. But
That exact feeling is what happened when I planted Tulip clusiana, which is a species tulip that I'm not sure if you remember what it's called, Melinda. Do they call it like peppermint stick or something like that?
Yeah.
And the reason I planted it was because in Southern California it's supposed to repeat, you know, where other tulips don't.
Won't, yeah.
But it's this little tiny sickly looking thing. It's like, oh,
yeah,
that's what it was. It's going to repeat, but that's a disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly. Because one of the problems is, you're right, and as the season's waning, for those of us in the north, when the season's waning, any blast of color and any hope really gets us sucked in. And you do want to order early so you have the best selection. And like you said, then you store them in a cool, dark place till it's time to plant. And then the weather gets cold and that motivation kind of wanes. But I'll tell you, when those daffodils bloomed last spring, it was amazing. And it made me motivated. I didn't order 1,000 this year. But it's motivated me to add a few more to that mix this fall.
Oh, that's funny. That's fun. Well, you know, I mean, you know, it's fun though because I like talking with you, Melinda, because no matter what you have going on, there's always something garden related going on with you in terms of whether you're planting something or prepping for something, or, you know, it's just you seem to be able to carry it through the full 12 months.
Yeah.
Where for you, where you live, that's not always normal. For us, you know, it's 12 months no matter what. But it's nice to know that you're back east and you're still doing gardening stuff no matter what time of year it is.
Still being involved, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I think, you know, one of the things that we find is it's so good for our soul. We all know that as gardeners. It's good for our mind, body, and spirit. And research proves it now. But boy, if you can move some things indoors, whether it's dragging for us, when fall comes and the cold temperatures arrive, my joke is I'm not going to bring anything in. I don't have room, but I might not be able to find that plant next year, so I'm going to bring that in. Well, if I'm bringing that in, I might as well bring this one in, and all of a sudden, every window's filled, right, with plants, and it's leaves are shedding in March, but then spring comes, you move them out, and you're sucked in again. But you're right, there's so many things we can do indoors, whether you're in a nice climate like yours, windowsill herb gardens. If you don't have outdoor planting space, for us, if it's not good growing, microgreens are just such a quick fix and so nutritious. And then forcing bulbs. So for those of you that are trying to enjoy tulips, but your weather's not cold enough, forcing some bulbs in that spare fridge might be a nice way, too, to experience a little of the Midwest northern spring that you may be missing if you grew up in that area and miss some of those tulips that aren't, need a colder period than you have in your area, or some of those other spring flowering bulbs.
Now, you talked about bringing plants inside. Is there anything that you do when you bring a plant inside? Because, one of the hard things that I have is I do have some outside plants that every once in a while I do bring in, but then I tend to overwater them once they're inside. Is there anything that you do specifically to make sure that they acclimate from the in? Especially for you, I feel like they're going from such extreme cold to, I'm assuming you keep your house reasonably warm. So
yeah, what is that transition period like?
Do you do anything specific to kind of soften that change?
And one thing I've decided to do is, because when you bring plants in, sometimes you bring some unwanted guests along with them.
Yep.
Scale, aphids. So pretty much everything goes out. I figure they're all going to get whatever comes back in. I try to isolate anything, not bring anything that I know is infected in with insects and disease. I have cats, so I don't like to treat, unless I use something like a year-round spray oil or insecticidal soap. But I try to start in the brightest windows I have, put them in front of those. Some plants go under artificial lights just because there's not enough window space. But I try to gradually introduce them into the lower light. So if I can do in and out for a couple of weeks, I have these carts that I just roll them out of my shop and back in the first few weeks as it's getting cold, and then start putting them in the sunniest window and then moving those lower light plants into the lower light situation. I used to do interior scape years ago, and we would get moisture meters, and I found my finger worked the best. Right?
Yeah.
You know what to check for.
Sure.
And I use that as my meter. And then after a while, you get used to the signs, that the green kind of changes to a gray green, or the pot's a lot
Hey,
lighter.
Melinda, I hate to interrupt you. We got to take a break, so hold that thought. We're going to come back, take our break here on Facebook Live and Biz Talk Radio. As we approach 30 minutes after the hour, we're going to come right back with our guest, Melinda. I'm Bryan Main, John Bagnasco at Tiger Palafox, Garden America, taking a break, coming right back after this with Melinda Myers.
That's the sound of your most flavorful morning yet. The Breakfast Toasted Wrap, only from Del Taco. Fresh cooked eggs, hash browns, casera salsa, and your choice of bacon or real Mexican chorizo, wrapped in a flour tortilla and toasted to perfection. All for $2. Yep, just $2. Music to your stomach's ears. And the Breakfast Toasted Wrap is easy to eat on the go, perfectly sealed on a flat grill press. A different kind of breakfast is calling. Try the new Breakfast Toasted Wrap, only at Del Taco. Price and participation may vary.
Get the Planet Fitness Black Card and you'll enjoy massage chairs, hydro massage, tanning, and more. Get the Planet Fitness Black Card membership for just $22.99 a month. Bring a workout buddy every time. Use any of over 1,700 locations. Enjoy massage chairs and more, all for just $22.99 a month. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, the judgment-free zone. See club for details.
Getting an IRS audit notice is one of the worst things to go through. Don't do it alone. Have a tax problem solver on your side from Dallo Law Group, San Diego's premier tax resolution law firm. They're local and they have relationships with the IRS agents they can leverage for you. The experts at Dallo Law Group saving clients thousands against the IRS. How much can they save for you? Visit DalloLawGroup.com, 619-324-4000, 619-324-4000.
This hour of the Sean Hannity Show. As the summer comes to an end, homeowners know that soon summer will leave a surprise in their mailbox. That's right, the peak summer electricity bill from running the AC all summer long. Why not call Solar for America and make 2019 the last year of high electric bills? As America's #1 solar, roofing, and home improvement contractor, we're going to make solar easy. With one quick call or convenient in-home consultation, you'll own a state-of-the-art solar system with zero down and as low as $85 per month. Or take advantage of 24-month same-as-cash financing. With Solar for America, you get the industry's most comprehensive 25-year warranty on solar and 50 years on roofs. You own the solar, you own the savings, and you keep the federal tax credit. Just call 833-PD-SOLAR. That's 833-PD-SOLAR. That's 833-737-6527. Or at solar4america.com.
Upgrade your home, make your bills lower. Call 833-PD-SOLAR.
California CSLB 1045872, 1050201, and 1050133.
Hi, I'm Raymond Denon, Vice President of Optima Tax Relief. If you're in debt to the IRS, there's a lot you need to know. Starting with rule number 1, don't mess with the IRS. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even take your home or business. That's all true. But it's also true that there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. It's one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, even tens of thousands. Nobody knows this program like us, the experts at Optima Tax Relief. We have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we've resolved over $500 million in tax debt for our clients. We'll stand between you and the IRS and fight to get you the best deal possible. Don't mess with the IRS. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It is 35 minutes after the hour. Thank you so much for joining us. Those watching on Facebook Live, we do appreciate that. Also, Biz Talk Radio. If you want to shoot us an email, a question, comment, of course, questions, comments right there on Facebook Live. Emailing john@gardenamerica.com as we continue. Had to go to a commercial break. Melinda Tiger right in the middle of a great discussion.
Yeah, we were just talking with Melinda Myers, and she was talking about bringing the plants inside, making sure not to bring in any unwanted pests.
How that transition is from outside to inside.
Doing
it over.
I
always brought in when I was in. This goes along with what you're talking about.
You never know when John's going to pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not those pests.
Yeah.
But when I lived in Michigan, I always brought spider mites inside.
Oh, Was that a choice? You
No,
just loved
no.
bringing spider mites
you think
inside
they're
where they would thrive and just
Well, they're
dominate
really
everything?
tiny, Tiger, and you don't notice them.
Oh, spider mites are such a problem.
And it could have been because of the dry heat too. Now, I don't know. Do the heaters have more humidity in them than they used to?
I don't know.
You know, John brings up a really good point to get.
Don't encourage him, Melinda.
You know, with the heat on, the humidity is very low, and if you tend to keep your house really warm, lower humidity. So cooler temperatures. When we went through the energy crisis back in the 70s and 80s, a lot of people were worried about their houseplants, but they actually did better with the cooler temperatures because the humidity was higher. But you brought up a good point, Tiger, about overwatering. So sometimes we think less light, tougher conditions, we need to water more. But depending on the humidity, the light they're receiving, the potting mix, that really dictates when you water. I like to group my plants together when there's only so many windows you have. But as one transpires, it increases the humidity around the others.
Mm-hmm.
I put them on gravel trays because I'm lazy. So when I water, the excess goes in the pebbles. The pots are above. And as that water evaporates, that increases humidity right around the plants. And I don't have to pour the excess off. So, you know, it makes it easier and it's better for the plants.
So you're creating its own little microclimate right near all the plants that you have, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then I think, you know, you see a lot of the indoor plants in a lot of these home decor magazines. And I don't know about you, but if I see another fiddly fig against a wall away from any window, I think I'll scream, right?
Yeah.
Because the photographer, you know, as soon as the photo shoot's over, that fig is going back in the greenhouse or in a sunny window, not against a wall where it receives no light. So I think we need to help newbies that are getting excited about indoor gardening, you know, help match the plant to the light conditions, and we may have to rearrange our furniture so that it looks good, but the plants get what they need.
Now, in your area, do you have some of the same concerns when you're putting a plant in a window as we do, where, you know, windows magnify heat, so sometimes, you know, putting them right in a window could be dangerous for some plants. Yeah. But for you guys, is it so cool, though, that they just need the light?
Well, we have the opposite. So in the winter, sometimes we need to pull them back. And thank you for bringing that up, because right up against the window, it's going to be cold.
That's
and
true.
You never want to close them, right? We have the opposite problem.
Yeah.
And so I had a ZZ plant in my office, and my office windows faced west and a lot of wind. And I had to move them back a few feet because it was just, you know, they'll take the lower light. But I had to move them back because it was so cold. They were yellowing from that chill. And so I had to move them to a warmer spot. And so you're right. Right in the window can be a problem. Too much heat, in your case. In our case, in the winter, too cold. And so you want to be careful. Sometimes that chill is often deceiving, where people think it's a watering issue when it's really too cold or too hot. So good point.
Yeah, you know, how, you know, bringing plants inside and the watering issues is, I think, one of the biggest. I mean, you know, bugs are definitely problematic, as John mentioned, because they can just run rampant inside. But watering plants inside is something that's always a challenge. And then finding that, you know, nice level, but then it changes, because then the weather changes. You start running your heater, or you stop running your heater, and then you got to figure it all out again to figure out how much water you're going to be putting on each plant. I love when people ask how much water. They want to know the exact quarts or gallons to issue to each plant and how often.
And everything depends individually on each plant. It's, you know.
Yes,
and then they don't like that answer, and they ask someone else.
That's so true.
And they're going to do what they're going to do anyway.
You say use just enough and not one drop more.
Oh. Hey, Melinda, I wanted to talk with you about something that was happening this spring with Milorganite. They started changing some bags and some packaging and stuff, and all that stuff hit the market this spring. So if people were buying Milorganite
it's
over
a
the
new
spring,
look.
they noticed a new look, right?
Right, exactly. You know, Milorganite is the byproduct of a wastewater treatment plant, but they test daily and weekly. It's kiln dry, so the product is basically pathogen-free, and it's held to a much higher standard than organics, natural, and commercial fertilizers. And so they updated the bag to reflect some of that legislation, but also just to give it a new, fresh look. The bag's slightly smaller, but that's also to help, gives you what you need for your garden and landscape, and no extra. You can't hurt it by doing more. That's one of the cool things about Milorganite, but why use more if you don't have to? So they're just encouraging people, as always, to use the right amount, and a little bit more nitrogen again, a little more phosphorus. And what's cool about the phosphorus is it's non-leaching, so it's not contributing to any pollution. And the research has found that when microorganisms work on releasing the nutrients from the pellets, it also releases some of the phosphorus and potassium found in so many soils. So you're kind of getting extra benefit by using those nutrients that are locked in the soil, but now some of them, as you're fertilizing, are made available to the plant. So as you guys know, phosphorus is good for flowering, fruiting, and root development, potassium for disease resistance and hardiness, so you're getting some extra benefit. Plus, we all try to do the right thing, but sometimes, we forget to close the spreader as we're turning the corner or our neighbor stops. Or my problem is when I do my containers, did I put some Milorganite in there?
Yeah, right.
Right, and I'm sure I over-fertilized a couple times, but it didn't hurt the plants, so it's forgiving. And so, it's like, oops. So that's the other thing I like about it. And you only need one product in your shed or garage.
Right.
Which, you don't have to have one for this and one for that. And so it makes it easier, I think, for all of us to have good results with a product that we need to repurpose and recycle.
And one of the things that I've been really for us, it's a big issue because of where we live in California and probably Arizona and some of the other areas that are more dry. Not so much for you. I don't think people are using drip or soaker tube like Netafim as much as we do out here. I think a lot of people probably in the Midwest still use pop-up sprinklers.
Yeah.
But one of the issues with the use of drip or these soaker systems is that when you use a fertilizer, which is a granular fertilizer like Milorganite, you have to water it in by hand in order for it to work. Drip systems don't water the product in well. And so, when you're using Milorganite, water it in right after you use it, but then, water it a few times by hand afterwards as well.
Then watch the drip system, right?
Then the drip system will start to put it down into the roots where it's actually using it.
That's a good point because a lot of people would apply their fertilizer and then just depend upon the drip system when you have to soak it in, right?
You're right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And Milorganite is really one of the exceptions where obviously watering in won't hurt, but it's one of those that it's not as essential as it is with the other granules. So you have that added benefit too because the microorganisms work on getting it into the soil and breaking it down. So it's a perfect, perfect, even just lightly, if you have mulch, I'll sprinkle it over my mulch around my trees and shrubs and then just lightly rake to kind of get it down into the soil, just a light raking to get it below the soil surface. It won't hurt if you don't do it, but it gets it mixed into the soil surface, so those microorganisms. And then your drip system, as you're mentioning, does a good job of then getting it even further.
Yeah.
And so it is a lot easier to use, and it won't burn. You have that
Right.
other issue where heat and drought. We haven't had any drought this summer. We've been on the other extreme, but you don't have to worry if you fertilize and all of a sudden it gets hot and dry and there's a water ban in your community. It's not going to hurt your plants, which is so important these days.
Hey, so Melinda, it's been wonderful chatting with you. Is there anything else you want to mention to our listeners while we got you on?
You know what? Fall and leaves falling from the trees. That's happening soon for so many of your listeners in the North and the Midwest. Put them to work in your landscape. Shred them, leave them on the lawn. If they're the size of a quarter or smaller, they're going to break down and improve the soil. Shred them and use them as a mulch around your perennials. And shred them and compost them and throw in a little Milorganite to break things down, and you'll have a nice amendment next spring. So put those leaves to work. Don't rake them to the curb.
That's perfect.
All right.
Okay, Tiger, wrap it up.
Thank you, Melinda. It's great chatting with you.
Thank you. You too. You guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much. Take care. A lot of great information from Melinda Myers right there. That said, we are just in time for a break. We're going to step aside, come right back after this. This is Garden America on your Saturday weekend.
Hi, I'm Raymond Denon, Vice President of Optima Tax Relief. If you're in debt to the IRS, there's a lot you need to know. Starting with rule number 1, don't mess with the IRS. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even take your home or business. That's all true. But it's also true that there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. It's one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, even tens of thousands. Nobody knows this program like us, the experts at Optima Tax Relief. We have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we've resolved over $500 million in tax debt for our clients. We'll stand between you and the IRS and fight to get you the best deal possible. Don't mess with the IRS. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey guys, Hardwick here for my friends over at Carefree Boat Club. If you're driving around San Diego looking at everybody experience the water on a boat and you're thinking about buying one, please don't do it. It's a total waste of money. The most luxurious club fleet in San Diego, they have arrived with brand spanking new boats. Carefree Boat Club is here to make sure you boat with ease and you boat with style. No trailers, no storing, no insuring, no cleaning. Check out my friends over at BoatSD.com. They are going to make it happen for you. $0 in payments for the rest of 2019. Again, check them out. BoatSD.com.
Planning a vacation is hard. Everyone you go with wants something different. But good news. Carnival has all the fun in one vacation, and now you can book it for up to 20% off. So if yourself is like, Self, I really need a relaxing vacation with a spa, Carnival's got you covered. And if your boyfriend's all like,
Dude, I want a ropes course and some Guy Fieri barbecue,
you can be like, dude, when did your voice get so deep? But Carnival's got that too. Or maybe your girlfriend say, can we get a cruise to the Caribbean, sushi, a rum bar, plenty of selfie-worthy vistas and white sandy beaches? And you can say, yes, Jenny, Jennifer, and Jen with 2 N's. Oh, and if your nephew Terry says, what, ziplining, scuba diving, water sliding, you can be like, calm down, Terry. We can do that. Get all the fun in one vacation on the new Carnival Panorama sailing from LA, or sail right from San Diego to Mexico or Hawaii. Cruises from $229. Carnival. Choose fun. Cruises are in U.S. dollars per person, double occupancy, taxes, fees, and port expenses additional. Restrictions apply. Full details on carnival.com. Ships registry, Bahamas, Panama, and Malta.
I know. You're curious.
Summer music festivals are filled with great surprises, like unforgettable secret shows. But if you're selling or trading in your car, surprises can ruin your day, like being stood up for a test drive or getting a quote with no explanation of the number. Now there's a better way with TrueCar. TrueCar shows you your car's value as you're entering the details so you understand the number. You'll get a cash offer in minutes, and then you can bring your car to a local certified dealer to cash out or trade in. So when you're ready to discover, buy, or sell your next car, visit TrueCar. Summer music festivals are filled with great surprises, like unforgettable secret shows. But if you're selling or trading in your car, surprises can ruin your day, like being stood up for a test drive or getting a quote with no explanation of the number. Now there's a better way with TrueCar. TrueCar shows you your car's value as you're entering the details so you understand the number. You'll get a cash offer in minutes, and then you can bring your car to a local certified dealer to cash out or trade in. So when you're ready to discover, buy, or sell your next car, visit TrueCar.
And welcome back. It is 51 minutes after the hour. This is hour number 1 on this Saturday morning, almost Saturday afternoon for those on the East Coast. Back with Garden America, Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Great information from Melinda Myers. And if you have any questions, perhaps this week, you can shoot them to us on Facebook, instant message, or john@gardenamerica.com, Tiger.
Yeah, one of the things that we were talking about off air, and we kind of mentioned it, was the irrigation right now.
Right.
This time of year, we're getting into fall. There's things that we have to consider in terms of it's getting cooler, the daylight hours are getting shorter, and the sun is changing. So all of those things mean that you can water less because the evaporation rate is not the same as it was in the summer.
Keep an eye on things.
Yeah, so I mentioned to John, I'm seeing a lot of runoff around town, and that could be caused by a lot of different things. But one of the things it's caused by is when people water too much and the ground is already saturated, and then they're watering, and the ground just doesn't need it, so it runs off. And so, for those of you out there, check your irrigation systems, maybe lower the time, maybe lower the frequency.
Right, exactly. Just be aware of the weather, the changes. Like John mentioned, we've gone from, 90 degrees during the day to 60, 75, and at night it's getting even cooler. And I mentioned to John as well that in my patio, I look at the soil. The soil's still moist from watering 3-4 days ago.
Right.
Because the heat has, dissipated so rapidly.
I have an irrigation question for Tiger.
All right.
This isn't to catch you. It's because I don't know. Because I've never understood.
You want to post your question on Facebook or ask him live?
No, I'm going to ask him live.
Okay.
I've never understood in 50 years drip irrigation.
Okay.
And I'm finally starting to use it, and I get it. But is there any reason not to use Netafim in the landscape?
Okay. Yeah.
Like what are the disadvantages? What are the advantages?
And explain what that is.
And the reason I'm asking this is because my son Joe, who's going to be installing this, says nobody uses Netafim.
Right. Well, so yeah, there are some really good advantages. I'll go with that first. As far as Netafim is kind of like an advanced soaker system. So a normal soaker system was that black tube that just emitted water.
Right.
Netafim has little ports that don't get clogged, control the water regulation and all of that, but it's still a tube that you run through the landscape. Advantages is there's zero waste because you don't have runoff, all of that.
It's utilizing all the water.
It soaks into the ground, so the ground is absorbing it, and you get to place it just where the plants that you're growing are, and you're not watering areas that don't have landscape, don't have roots.
Well, what about the emitters that are in that tube? Are you locked in a certain distance between them? And
so with Netafim, you're locked in either like a 12 or 16-inch spacing when it comes to that tube.
Okay.
Disadvantages, and people will say, "Why is this a disadvantage?" And I'll explain it to you. You run the system for a long time, meaning when you drop down Netafim,
using a lot of water.
Well, no, you're not using a lot of water. You're using the same amount of water. The same amount of water comes out of Netafim in 1 hour that you run a normal pop-up system for 5 minutes. Oh. So it's the same volume, but you're distributing it over an hour. Well, people would be like, well, why is that a disadvantage? If you have a break in your line, your break is running for 1 hour and not for 5 minutes. So you can, if you have a break in the line, it can flood an area and you can waste a lot of water if you don't watch the system.
So that's the biggest drawback, would you say?
Well,
it's a huge
along
drawback.
Along with that, they usually drop it in the ground, so you don't see the lines. So when there's a break, you don't always know there's a break.
And it's a big hassle
underground
trying to fix it.
And it's a big hassle to try to fix it. It's not an easy fix all the time.
But you're less likely to have rabbits and squirrels chewing on
the lines.
Yeah.
But the other thing is for a gardener that gardens, you don't know where your lines are. You're constantly hitting it when you're digging in your beds. So there are those disadvantages. Water-wise, it's a much more advanced product. So if you were to put it in somewhere and never touch the area, Netafim is a great product.
Well, Bob Martin, who is the new president of the American Rose Society, uses Netafim on his roses. And I guess that they started using it when they lived in Arizona. And said he would never use anything else. And he grows fantastic roses.
Well, for roses, it's excellent because you don't have the humidity in the overhead watering, which you try to avoid a lot of times with roses.
For spreading diseases and things like
mildew and all that stuff.
Oh,
so that's a really good reason.
What about hillsides?
Even better for hillsides because they have advanced micro micro spraying
Right.
sprinklers now that are
Right.
more efficient,
And I think that's what my son wants to use, and I'm trying to talk him out of it.
which are good. But hillsides, when you water for an hour or two on a hillside for Netafim, it's all going into the ground. There is zero runoff.
All right. Next time you see Joe, would you
Convince
please
him.
tell him?
Now, you said zero runoff. That's a
There
pretty,
is,
pretty
because
bold statement.
The emitter on an Netafim emits at about 0.25 to 0.5 gallons an hour. So in order for it to have any runoff, I mean,
It would have to be a much higher water pressure.
exactly. And you'd have to have that ground completely saturated in order for there to be zero absorption from that.
How long a
limit.
line on one valve can you run Netafim?
Well, the nice thing is that you regulate at the valve to about 20 to 30 psi, and you can run 500 feet
Wow.
on that because you don't need a lot of pressure to come out at the very end. So it's really easy to run a very long distance on one valve. Yeah, because you don't need, unlike you're not trying to pop up a sprinkler, which requires 30 psi just to pop up.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, caller?
Yes, it does.
How long have you been listening to our show? You sound like a regular.
I always avoided, it's like electricity. I do not understand electricity, anything about it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And for some reason, drip irrigation was always that for me, too.
Well, you know what they call that? Some people call it drip irritation. So maybe you fall into that category.
I did have that. So I still, even though I have 1,000 roses in containers now, and probably out of the 1,000, half are on drip. The other half I water by hand, and I actually prefer watering the containers by hand.
Well, you have more control. You know exactly what you're doing and how
Yeah.
much water you're giving it.
Yeah. And plus, I feel that I'm providing some nurturing.
You're involved with the process.
That's right.
Well, the plants see you. There's human contact.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you have children, and putting the plate out of food for children is one thing, but actually sitting down and eating with them is another thing.
We used to do that. I remember as
Just put the plate out for your kids.
No, we used to sit down and have family dinners. Everybody used to do that, right? And as we went to 2 people in the house working and kids in school and stuff like that, I think families kind of got away from that and then maybe started just having Sunday dinners or something like that.
We got to take a break, John.
But I was
on that note.
Oh, well, then I won't tell you what my son told me
No,
about
we're going to finish that thought after the
Okay.
top of the hour. We're going to take a break. We've got news coming up on Biz Talk Radio. Here, Facebook Live, you can just sit and watch us during the break. We're back at 6 minutes after. John's going to finish his thought. And we've got a special live in studio guest, too. So do stay with us. Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox here on Garden America.
Summer music festivals are filled with great surprises, like unforgettable secret shows. But if you're selling or trading in your car, surprises can ruin your day, like being stood up for a test drive or getting a quote with no explanation of the number. Now there's a better way with TrueCar. TrueCar shows you your car's value as you're entering the details so you understand the number. You'll get a cash offer in minutes, and then you can bring your car to a local certified dealer to cash out or trade in. So when you're ready to discover, buy, or sell your next car, visit TrueCar.
On any road, at any time, a dozen different stories are flying by.
Don't worry, honey. You're going to do great at the spelling.
Be careful. There are always deer on this road.
That's why we at Interstate Batteries sell some of the longest-lasting batteries in the business. Interstate Batteries. Find a dealer near you at interstatebatteries.com.
At Kaiser Permanente, our history and our future are deeply connected to organized labor. From the beginning, labor unions have played an important role in our efforts to give more people access to high-quality care and make care more affordable. And we remain committed to working together for the members and communities that rely on us. People-centered care begins with people. That's why we want to celebrate those who power Kaiser Permanente. Because together, we power the future of healthcare. Learn more at about.kp.org.
It's Eddie, and I'm sitting down with Rick Bregman, the Bank of America market president right here in San Diego. All right, let's talk small business here. Now, how is Bank of America helping out small businesses thrive here in San Diego?
I'm happy to tell you that we are the largest small business lender in the country.
Wow.
Whether your company is just starting, in the garage, getting off the ground, and you need your first checking account or SBA loan, or whether your company is rapidly expanding and growing, Bank of America has the capabilities to help you on that life cycle, on that path to becoming a global brand. That expertise should be readily available to you in person at our financial centers, our branches, or if you prefer to interface with us online or through your phone, we can make that happen as well.
Rick, thank you so much. Find out more at bankofamerica.com or at your local financial center.
Mic check, Tiger. Mic check.
Yeah.
Mic check.
You sound off in the distance.
Well, that's why we're doing a mic check, right?
Yeah, but you should sound...
Hello? Mic check. Mic check. It's not on.
Hello?
Yeah, she's on.
I'm
But
good.
not.
John's pod. There you go. See, now you see?
It is 6 minutes after the hour. This is hour number 2 here. We're back live, Facebook Live, Garden America, Biz Talk Radio. And for those listening and watching back east, we say good afternoon as it is 6 minutes after the afternoon hour. And for the rest of us, we're enjoying the morning time here across the country. Back for hour number 2, Tiger Palafox, I'm Bryan Main, John Bagnasco. And the studio, Tiger, looks just a little bit brighter, a little bit better for some reason. I can't figure it out. What's going on?
And it's because Kaitlin Mitchell has joined us in studio.
Hello.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Really good.
This is the first time you've watched the show, but first time in studio.
Yes, absolutely. I've watched the show. I've listened to the show, but this is, my first time here. So
And she still came in.
I'm here. I'm ready.
Well, as we mentioned, we're going to ask you a lot of questions that you don't know the answers to.
That's okay.
So that you feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can handle it.
Beautiful.
I totally can handle it.
I have a question you don't know the answer to.
Oh, you probably have a lot
already?
of questions.
Okay, wait.
No.
How many species of orchids are in the Julian Alps?
I can tell you there's 352.
I can tell you I'm going to find out.
80.
Well, see, then you know what? They've lost a lot.
The reason I brought that up was because when we go to the International Wildflower Festival next June.
We didn't talk about it first hour.
We didn't talk about it the first hour, but and you can just go to Earthbound Expeditions and find out more about the trip. But, that's one of the things you'll be able to see. I was checking to find out if there were any species of wild roses there, and I found 2.
Really?
That I was interested in looking at.
He's going to be all psyched up.
He's going to be on a hunt.
Yeah, so, but I was surprised to find there were 80 species of wild orchids. You don't think of orchids
as being wild like that where
in
they are?
cold climates. Yeah, you think about the tropics maybe, but you don't think about that.
So what's the difference? What's the key? Obviously, the species is tuned into the climate. Thank you. Acclimated to the climate, obviously, right?
That's the difference.
Right there.
That is the difference.
But would you find the same are they different orchids, or they've just?
Is it a phalaenopsis, but a different phalaenopsis?
No. They're hardy species of orchids.
Different, completely different.
Right.
Okay.
But they look really cool. A lot of lady slipper orchids, which I think are really exotic looking. But anyway, I just wanted to mention before we got involved with Kaitlin that if you go to earthboundexpeditions.com, you can find the daily itinerary there, the cost of the tour, and people are signing up, so don't wait.
Yeah, and if you're watching on Facebook Live, we've got the information right above my head. There you go. You can see all that right there. And that's going to be fantastic. We're going to leave at the very end of May. It's about a 10, 11-day trip after that into the month of June of 2020.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
So go with us. All right, Kaitlin.
What are you doing, May?
Oh, one thing I did hear on one of the shows, you were saying that your job was to count people on the bus. So if you guys need someone, I'm actually really good at counting heads on a bus.
Really?
You want to bring me along? The trip sounds amazing.
It's Can you
it's going to be incredible.
The
No, I
Alps.
can't even imagine. It sounds incredible.
Yeah, it sounds like
it's
you guys.
a very lucky group of people that are
fairy tale.
Come with you guys.
We start the trip by saying "Once upon a time."
Yes.
And then at the end of the trip, we say, "And we all lived happily ever after."
Yeah. Better for it. Yeah.
I think Tiger's itching to get some questions in here.
Okay, I'm ready.
No, it's funny. It's funny where the conversation goes. And I just was thinking of a good segue because Kaitlin Mitchell is joining us, and she's really good about leading groups and teaching people because that's what she does. And we're talking about school gardens and getting kids interested in gardening, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what you do and why you're here.
Why I'm here. Okay, so just a little bit of background. I guess my position, I'm a garden coordinator for my school, for the school that my boys go to, which is Silvergate Elementary in Point Loma in San Diego. And it's my 5th year doing it. And there's 2 of us. There's one, my good friend Renee Bransky. She applies for our grants. She manages kind of the logistical stuff and puts on a farmer's market that we have every year. And then my job is I do all the lesson planning. So I started that 5 years ago. I was a teacher for a long time. I taught 4th grade, 2nd grade up in the Solana Beach area. And I've been home with my boys the last 6 years. But when my first son started kindergarten, and he's now in 4th, they needed some help with the lesson planning. We're a gardening family, so I was recruited. I did, and I jumped into it. So I started with the kindergarten lessons. A month later, I was doing the 1st and 2nd. By the end of the school year, I was doing the entire school, and I was crazy about it. And I wanted to work on it all the time because it was combining my 2 passions.
Yeah.
And so then I got into this routine of I really wanted to create something that when I was no longer at the school, I knew no one else was going to be as crazy as I was. Yeah. And I needed it so that I could create something that would live when my boys hit on, because our school only goes to 4th grade.
Right.
And then a couple years ago, I was at an event. I was actually at it also this past Thursday with San Diego Ag in the Classroom, which is an incredible resource. If you're in San Diego and you're a teacher and you're looking to find more information about how to incorporate gardening into your curriculum, it's an awesome resource. But we were at that event 2 years ago talking about our program, and we're a completely volunteer-based program, but we have 40 volunteers who are getting the kids out in the garden 30 minutes every week 30 weeks out of the school year. So our kids get a ton of gardening. And our lessons really what I've really tried to is it's a garden-based science, it's nutrition, it's nature, but also tying into the other things that the kids are learning in the classroom. So incorporating math and social studies and language arts and kind of taking things that they're learning in the classroom and giving it real world relevance.
Oh, for sure.
In the garden. And that just makes it come to life. And I'm super passionate about this. I think when you get kids out there, it's an equalizer. Doesn't matter what kind of student you are in the classroom.
Right,
when you're out
right.
there, everybody's the same. Everybody's working together. And not to be too corny, sorry, I get very corny, but when I leave after teaching those kids, like my heart is so full.
Yeah.
And
Of
I
course.
just see and just it's amazing. And the kids love to work. We have I think it's called purslane. It's a weed that's kind of
Right.
creeping into our beds, and I put them to work. I have them help me set up trellises, and they love it. They
Now,
just
do you
want to
have
move
them
and help.
eat it?
Yeah.
So do you have to cook it
No.
to eat
No.
it?
No.
No.
Well, I actually just want to get rid of it because
So
right
just
now,
have the kids eat it then.
yeah.
While they're,
Well, could
you're like,
they just eat it like straight?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I will have the kids eat it.
Yeah. It
Right
has
now, I'm all about
Kind
just
of
like
a peppery taste, right?
does it?
Kinda-
Well, it's a succulent, right? So
well, it's not a succulent, but it is got the succulent
properties
yeah,
to
exactly.
it. Yeah, it's got those thick leaves and it's everywhere.
Is this
So
pro-
where we're trying to plant our subway garden, our brassica bed, our salad bar, I'm like, no, that is not a radish leaf.
Is
That
this,
is
is this program just for you? Do all schools do this, or is
No.
it indigenous to your school?
It's indigenous to our school, but it's spreading.
What
And
a
so
great program.
It is. So 2 years ago,
Brian
when
wants to know the age limit
Yeah.
because I think he would like
He's
to
going
join
in.
you.
well, that's so the reason I think our program is so popular. The lessons are written. When I taught, I had a lot of parent volunteers, and so
Yeah.
I tried to write them so they're almost like scripts, so that anyone can feel comfortable taking the kids out there and teaching, even if they don't have a ton of gardening or teaching experience. And so yeah, we have grandparents who help us. We have, our volunteer, they're incredible because they're
Yeah.
taking the kids out there on a weekly basis.
Well,
So
one of the big pushes in elementary schools right now is STEM, which is
Yeah.
the science, technology, mathematics, all of that. And like what you
STEM,
say,
STEAM,
you know, they're really focused on focusing the kids on learning not just math and science from a book, but actually hands-on incorporating it.
Yes.
And with the garden, you get biology, you get math, you get
language
environment,
arts, you get
yeah,
history,
all
you
of that
get- it's
stuff.
all- and
And
then
so they're
even-
really focusing on the school gardens.
And even character development. You can sneak in so many messages about planting a seed of kindness, the power of your words, and how they can spread like a dandelion. So, there's so many opportunities to just get the kids outdoors and learning, and really that cross. Whenever you have an opportunity as a teacher to cross your subjects
Yeah,
and
sure.
show how everything is really connected, it's just that much more impactful. And then our lessons really, within a season, there's 10 lessons in a season. They build upon themselves within the season, and then from season to season, and then reinforce from year to year, so that when the kids are done at Silvergate, they have a huge amount of knowledge.
Yeah.
And they really understand how things are connected and tied together. And I don't know, it's very cool.
I love
and
it.
they know that food doesn't come from the grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And just understanding
Yeah.
really the nutrition behind what
Right.
they're eating and making those choices, and just kind of empowering them to make those healthy choices.
Well, it's really neat too. Like Brian mentioned, and knows food doesn't come from the grocery store. One of the things I see with these kids is they actually go home and teach their parents
Yes.
about this stuff, because their parents don't even know how the lettuce grew
Right,
or how
right.
the radish
Yeah.
grew or anything of that sort.
Yes.
So these kids actually go home and they teach their parents things that their parents didn't even know.
I'll get emails all the time. Just can you send me that recipe for the cabbage salad that you made? And they're in shock that their child wanted to eat cabbage.
Yeah.
And then when you're teaching the kids, you're like, go home and ask your parents, is a cucumber a fruit or a vegetable? And
Oh,
when they
this is
say
great.
vegetable, you explain to them that it holds seeds, and that's why it's a fruit, and that's why. And our kids know the difference between warm season, cool season, and
Wow.
they learn about companion planting. So
They know more than this show does.
I was going to say we
and
should
I
start
have to
having them
say-
do the show.
We got to take a break. We're going to
Okay.
hold that thought. We're going to take
Sorry,
a
you
break
guys.
and come
I'll
back.
just
No,
go.
no, you're great. It
Okay.
is 60 minutes after the hour break time here. Garden America coming right back. Stay with us.
Howdy, folks. It's me, Colonel Sanders, about to do a little ditty called Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips. Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips. Oh, dang it. Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips. Try it again. Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips. I want yummy, yummy noodles and ooey gooey cheese and crispy, juicy popcorn nuggets. Oh, can't even make it to the part about the cookie and the Pepsi. Just try my new Mac and Cheese Bowl $5 Phillips at KFC. It's finger licking good. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Tax extra.
Endless enchiladas are back at On the Border for just $10.99. You'll get all the chicken, beef, and cheese enchiladas you can eat in any combination just the way you love them. And it gets better. On the Border's newest award-winning house margarita is now only $3 all day, every day. And it gets even better. Every Tuesday at On the Border is Throwback Taco Fix Tuesday, with tacos starting at just 99 cents. On the Border Mexican Grill and Cantina. Heavy in flavor, light on the wallet.
When your battery goes dead, everything could come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It is 21 minutes after the hour. Facebook Live. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for listening. Biz Talk Radio. Hey, by the way, questions and comments for our guest who is just so full of knowledge this morning and doing a great thing with our school system here in San Diego. Posted on Facebook Live. You can also email John. That's John at GardenAmerica.com. Tiger?
Yeah. So, the reason why we brought, a number of reasons, but one of the reasons why we brought Kaitlin on was to share what she's doing, but also, as she's mentioning, you've kind of created a curriculum. You've already created a program, a plan. So this is something that people, no matter where you are right now,
sure.
If you are interested in doing this at your own child's school, or you just have a passion, as you say, you're a retiree, you have time, and you're like, you know what, I would really like to teach kids about gardening. You created this template, and you have the you have an opportunity for people to contact you, and you'll go through with them, and there's opportunities, right, for them to be able to take the trial and error that you've done and put it into a program that's going to be successful from day one.
We call it trial.
Trowel
and error.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll get it out.
So
Exactly. Great title for a blog.
Yeah.
Trial and
How
error.
do you spell it? I don't even.
T-R-O-W-E-L.
Yeah. Trowel. Yes, absolutely.
Trowel.
I was
Oh,
having
I
a problem
like it.
getting it out.
I love garden puns. There's just so many good ones. But yes. So 2 years ago, when we were at the event that we were at this last Thursday, and we're talking about our program, and my partner who runs the program with me, and we're like super excited about it, and everyone's like, well, where do you get the lesson plans? And it made me realize that what to teach in the garden, because a lot of schools will get funding to build gardens.
Right.
Or maybe it's like an Eagle Scout project or a Girl Scout troop project,
but then
whatever
nothing
it is,
to back it up.
And then nothing happens with it. It just sits there, and maybe a class will go and visit and observe if they're doing. But so I created this because that was kind of the missing piece for a lot of schools or programs. So the last 2 years, I've taken what we're doing at Silvergate and made it so it could be applicable for other schools. Homeschooling parents are also having utilizing
my
it.
daughter homeschools, and I was just going to ask, is there a way that she can access that?
So I have it's called Ruta Vega Education, and I have a website, and that's where you can check out the curriculum and see if it's a good fit for you. You can purchase the curriculum, and but the homeschool community.
What was the website again?
It's Ruta Vega, like the rutabaga vegetable education.
Okay.
So yeah.
Rutabaga Education.
Rutabaga Education.
And John, that
Is
would
it
be .com.
And .com, absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Not .org or .net.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
whole
Or
homeschool
Biz or TV.
community is something I actually, when I first started the project, it wasn't really on my radar. And then as I was developing it and I saw how it could be amazing for a homeschooling parent who wants to devote 30 minutes of their week and then more if they'd like to really get,
that's a
and
great
that
idea.
home-
Love that.
So yeah, it's been, and even I have a friend who started a garden club. So she takes kids after, and then she's just using the lessons and spending 35 minutes a week and doing that after school. And I have to say that's been really cool for me. Close friends of mine who are like, yep, that's me. We have a garden at our school, and they're using the curriculum. They don't have teaching experience. They don't have gardening experience, but they feel empowered. And one of my best girlfriends who's doing it at her school, I'm like, are you just like the rock star of that classroom? Because those kids get so excited when they say, when the kids see me, they're like, is it garden today? And I'm like, oh no, our day is Monday. But they can't wait to get out there.
That is so
it's really
good.
like
That's
a highlight of their week. And I mean, and it fills me up. I'm obviously very passionate about it.
Well,
And
but it's infectious. And when a kid is out there and they're experiencing something maybe for the first time that is not normal to them, because you're dealing with children all over the spectrum when it comes to what they are exposed to. You get kids that are exposed to zero. They have nothing. They live in a city, and they don't know where plants or vegetables come from. And then you got kids that their parents do garden, and they do know where these things are. But when that kid experiences something for the first time in the garden, whether it's seeing a bug or growing a tomato or picking a strawberry right from the plant and then eating it, it's infectious. And it makes you want to do more, and it makes you excited to be a part of that because you were there when they did that for the first time.
And it can be, I mean, I think of it as like a life-changing experience, but it could be an experience that takes them down a different path with just being open to trying new things. And there's even when you're doing it with a classroom or a group of kids, there is a certain amount of positive peer pressure. I mean, I have a picture where I've got a whole classroom of kindergartners who are eating salad. That because they grew the lettuce, we made the dressing.
That was the key right there. They grew it. They knew the origin
of it.
They
were part of it,
And they're proud of themselves.
And they're super proud of it. And then they get to have this experience where they're enjoying it with a group of kids or people that they went through this process together with. So it's awesome.
Did you ever think of making it a commercial venture where you opened up like a gardenasium and people would sign up for classes and you would have a whole program, people could come in and
I have done classes. Some Girl Scout
Here's
troops
something
got
else to
my
throw on
number.
your
I
plate.
know. And I did a summer camp these last 2 summers.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have 2 boys, so it was a big group of girls, but my one son did participate this summer. And it's just time. But I would love to. I want to get this project of the books complete
Mhm.
and feel really, and I do feel really good about it. I don't
Good.
think I've ever been more proud of anything. But yeah, but I love, I mean, the teaching. Someone had asked me recently, what is your moment where you feel most powerful? And I'm like, it's when I'm teaching kids and I'm seeing them engage and I'm seeing them light up and they're retaining the information, and that's like where, so I would love to, but down the road.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
And I
It's
would
like a
imagine
totem pole.
when you go from that, excuse me, to
Mhm.
like back to social studies or other topics or other
Yeah.
subjects are kind of like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Because the gardening is the one thing that they're just like lighting up about,
Yeah,
right?
but let's say, for example, in 4th grade, you're learning about potatoes, and then you're going to tie it into because they're learning about explorers. So you talk about that potatoes originated in the high mountains of the Andes.
very
and then
good.
you've got
Yeah.
the explorers
Right.
who come and they discover, as they're looking for gold, they also
Right.
discover the potato. And then they take that back to Europe with them because it's full of vitamin C and it prevents scurvy. So you're telling them these stories that are all related to the gardening.
That is
and they
perfect,
are
yeah.
engaged.
Yeah.
And once again, you're just reinforcing something that they've learned in the
Right.
classroom.
And it comes full circle.
But made it more relevant and
Right.
made it have connections. So
Plants existed throughout history, so there's history behind all the plants.
which is why the coffee and the chocolate. I was like, there's so many cool
Oh, yeah,
cultural
yeah.
things that you could
About
tie.
coffee and
That's why I
chocolate.
was like, that would be a cool thing to have. Not that the kids would be eating the coffee berries, but
No, that would be a great thing.
But you
at
could
your summer
talk
camp,
about-
you have the kids eat coffee at the end of the day.
Yeah, and be like,
and then
"You're
you send them
welcome."
home
Yes.
with their
See
with their
how
parents.
like re-energized they were from gardening this morning.
Exactly. That's perfect.
You know, Thomas Jefferson said that the
Oh, and talk
greatest,
about Thomas.
greatest deed that someone can perform for their country is to introduce a new plant.
Yes.
And, you know, in a sense, you're introducing people to new plants even though they've been around
Yeah.
because they're just learning about them.
And we talk about Thomas Jefferson. When we learn about peas, he used to have a competition with his neighbors about who could grow peas and be the first to have the peas at the table. So you're tying in this history, and I mean, throw them at me because I'll tell you how a lot of it can all tie together.
See, I don't think you could do this anymore, but if you really wanted to get kids involved with peas, we used to have pea shooters when we were kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could pass
they would
those
love
out-
that.
yeah, yeah.
I had to get rid of spray bottles for the same
Right now,
reason.
though,
I'm like, we're going to watering cans.
We're going to take a break and come back after this. Questions, comments, Facebook Live. Also, John. That's John at GardenAmerica.com. Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Of course, Garden America coming right back.
When your battery goes dead, everything could come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Eddie, and I just have to say it. Before I was with Bank of America, I wasn't always happy or confident with how I managed my money. It's not like we were ever taught about it in school, but thankfully, Bank of America has extensive networks of people and financial know-how and experience to help you with whatever you need. Get your finances in order. Start a business. Just about anything. What would you like the power to do? Check out your local Bank of America or go to bankofamerica.com to find out more.
Hello, I am Tuesday, the day of the week that is most often forgotten. Now, I may not have the pizzazz of a Wednesday or the zing of a Thursday, but I do have a 6-inch oven roasted chicken for just $3.99 at Subway restaurants. With the sub of the day, it's a different 6-inch sub each day for just $3.99. So I guess Tuesdays are pretty terrific after all. Subway, make it what you want. At participating restaurants, additional charge for extras, plus applicable tax. No additional discounts or coupons may be applied.
At CVS Pharmacy at Target, we put a little extra heart into everything we do, like actively looking to save you money. Generics, 90-day refills, even rewards. Get a $5 Target coupon for every 10 prescriptions. On your next Target run, stop by CVS Pharmacy. We're the place with the big heart. Not valid on all prescriptions, including those purchased in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. Other restrictions apply. See cvs.com/extracare-target or the pharmacy for details. CVS Pharmacy at Target. Health is everything.
Ready for a change in your life? A new career that you can be proud of? UEI College has 2 campuses in San Diego that offer career training programs in trades like HVAC and automotive technician, as well as healthcare, business, and criminal justice. Some programs can be completed in as few as 10 months. At UEI College, we're here to help you make that change for your future. Contact our Chula Vista or San Marcos campus to get started today. The right time is now. Visit uei.edu or call 833-DIAL-UEI. That's 833-DIAL-UEI.
Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store and pick up 5 quarts of O'Reilly conventional motor oil and a MicroGuard filter for $21.99. Extend the life of your vehicle and save money with 5 quarts of O'Reilly conventional motor oil only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And we are back. It is 35 minutes after the hour. Thank you for tuning in. All you people, all you listeners, viewers, Facebook Live, Biz Talk Radio, we do appreciate it. As we broadcast live this morning from the iHeartMedia Entertainment Studios here in San Diego, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, I'm Bryan Main. Our great guest, Tiger, who's sitting right next to you, to your right and my left. Now, do you go by Kaitlin? What do people...
Kaitlin.
Caitlin's good.
I think we were talking. We have a mutual friend who has known me since I was 12, so he calls me Katie.
Yeah.
But Kaitlin, I'm Kaitlin. Yes.
Okay, then.
Yes.
Kaitlin, it is then. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're talking with Kaitlin Mitchell with Rutabaga Education. We were talking about how she's created a curriculum for people to take home or to use at home for schools, to use in their own schools, school gardens, getting kids interested in gardening. And one of the things that while we were off air, you mentioned about, kids is that everybody learns differently.
Yes.
But the nice thing about the school garden program is that you have a kid that maybe doesn't do math well, doesn't do reading well, doesn't sit there and listen to lectures well. But no matter what, the school garden aspect of it incorporates all of that.
Yes.
And it incorporates it in ways because they're going to learn because they're touching, they're reading, they're listening, and then not only that, their attention is on something other than a like projector or board or screen or whatever it is that they use in schools nowadays. For John, it was chalkboards.
Yeah.
And he's
and
got lung issues because of all the chalk.
Not even chalkboards; it was blackboards.
Blackboards. for me, it was the whiteboards. I had whiteboards growing up, and
well,
now
for John, it was the one-room schoolhouse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
about that.
Didn't have shoes.
And nowadays they're like in a virtual classroom. So anyways, kid, they're outside, they're putting their hands into the earth, they're doing all this stuff. So a kid is truly retaining whatever it is that they're being taught because they're using all of those ways of learning in one.
And that's even something that we focus on within the lessons, where we talk about really engaging all of your senses and just even having the kids recognize what are those 5 senses, and then having a conversation at the end, like, what did we see today? What did we smell today? What did we touch? What did we taste? And really just making it be very holistic. And it, as Tiger had mentioned, it really, gardening, when you're out there with the kids, it really is, I like to say, an equalizer. I don't know if that's the appropriate word.
No, but I understand,
But it's an opportunity that it doesn't matter what kind of reader you are.
Now, I think the bottom line is, if we were to, take this right down to the bare minimum, the key word is fun.
It's fun.
They're having fun, so they're going to learn whether they even realize they're learning.
Yeah.
It just seeps into their psyche.
Yeah, and they're having fun,
Yeah.
and every single part of them is really engaged in the process.
Now, how about a story where somebody or a student or a child learned to like a vegetable or something because of your class?
Yes.
That they wouldn't normally have liked to begin with.
Absolutely, and just introducing things that their own family would not introduce them to. So we even do a Dia de los Muertos lesson, and we introduce jicama. So many kids have never tried jicama before, and then they go home asking, like, it kind of tastes like a pear or an apple.
Right.
You put some lime and then some chili, so you really are having the kids go home and tell the parents what to buy at the grocery store. So you're making changes that affect the entire family.
And what a great way for the instant gratification for the parent to know that my child learned something today, and because we're talking about it. Where a lot of times they come home and, what did you learn today? We did this, we did that. This is very specific. They can come home and say, I want us to buy this because I want to eat this, and I learned this today, and we can do that, and we can do this, and they must blow the parents away.
And that's also why our program, we have our parent volunteers. We have every single classroom that's out there this year, and it's because we do have so many parent volunteers, and even parents who have been at the school for a while, but now want to get involved with the program because they want to learn the information. They always say, when after a class, I learned so much today, and that's really, so it's impactful for the entire family.
Brian's going to find out what schools you're at just so he can
come anytime.
That's great. Now, now, you're in the Point Loma area?
I'm in the Point Loma area, yes.
Okay, and for those in San Diego, the school is, again, what's the name of the school?
Silvergate Elementary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think that the one thing I remember in grade school was we went out and learned about the weather. We learned about clouds.
We learned about that too. It's part of it.
That was it, about the
High
weather.
morning, low clouds.
I can name a stratus, a cumulus, and whatever else there are.
Well, at least it stuck.
It does stick, because when you're that young, your brain's not all full of this other stuff that you get in life. And it's amazing how you can remember something, at 5 years old, but you can't remember what you had for breakfast.
Yeah.
So
we have an email from. We all have an inner child in us.
Yes.
And this email's from Steve in Simi Valley.
Okay.
And he said, hi, John, Bryan, and Tiger. I've had apple bananas in Maui, and they're really good, and I just planted carrots, spinach, and Brussels sprouts because I want to keep up the old-fashioned traditions. So.
And you talked about being an edible gardener yourself. You like edibles.
Right. Yes. So that's we're speaking. Sometimes someone will ask me to identify a tree, and I have to respond that if you can't eat it, I really.
You know what you tell them?
I know what I'm interested in.
There are trees you can eat.
Well, I know there are trees you can eat, but
tree.
the certain tree that they want to know about is.
But here's what I got an answer for you. It's very easy. When they ask a tree, here's what you tell them. John@gardenamerica.com.
Yes.
That is your answer.
That is your answer.
Yeah,
you got it.
Actually, Tiger is the one who identifies trees.
Tiger is the tree guy.
By the way, we got a follow-up email from Steve.
And Tiger's Gmail, by the way. Go ahead.
Oh, I forgot sugar snap peas. Just wanted to let us know he planted those too, because now's the time to plant peas, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
We talk about the difference with the beans, and so we say to the families, think of snow peas and think of that's your cool season.
Now some people must wonder, why is the fall a good time or the winter to plant things? That's a big question that we've had on the show too, because
well, it depends where you are, Brian.
Right, but for the most part, you wanted to be established.
Minnesota, you can't plant anything.
So they're ready to go in
winter wheat,
springtime, and things like that. If you live in a nice climate like we do in California, Texas, Florida, things like that. But as John said, in Minnesota, we don't do that.
Now, Kate, go ahead.
I was just going to say quickly. Earlier, we were talking about eating purslane. And someone sent a note and wanted to know if we had a recipe for it, because I had mentioned it. And The recipe I was looking at is on food52.com.
Okay.
And all you have to do is search for purslane salad, and it's there. And their description says that it's bright and bold. It's a symphony of flavors and textures, a bowl full of delicious bites.
Oh, yeah.
So for food52.com, purslane salad.
And is that 5-2? Food 5-2? Or?
Yeah, food
Okay.
5-2.
And I was going to ask on that topic of unique vegetables out there. Is there any vegetables that you incorporate into your curriculum that you think is unique, especially because kids like, I mean, for instance, like say okra.
Yes.
You know, nobody ever grows okra.
Well, yeah, especially here. I
Nobody.
do, actually. But here in San Diego,
Yeah,
it's not
right.
very common.
Yeah.
It's my friends from the South.
You're in
that tell me
Mississippi, they
what
might
to
grow.
do with
exactly.
it.
But
Dragon fruit?
dragon
That's a
fruit.
cool one.
Yeah.
They must love the name.
Yeah, they love the name and the color.
The,
I mean,
the
it's
look at the
cool.
fruit.
Yeah,
right?
the look of the fruit itself is very cool.
Tiger, what about what you did? You brought in last week. It's
The
not
loofah?
edible, but loofah.
Loofah is fun.
I've tried to grow loofah and haven't had
Really?
success. Yes, and you said it was so easy. I'm like, what?
And you know what? People have no idea
Yeah,
that that's what it looks like or comes from.
Well, they think it comes from the ocean.
Well, I was
mean, that's
I was
Sponge,
amazed that you open it up and it's ready to go.
Yeah.
There's your loofah.
Did you keep all your seeds?
Yeah.
Tiger's trying to breed a loofah with a zipper on it, so it's even easier to open.
That's a great idea.
That would be pretty incredible. If
No,
you
but
could do that.
yeah, it's really neat because when you grow things from seed, it's much easier to grow some unique things. You know, it's very hard to go to a garden center and find a loofah plant for sale. That's
right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or okra plants or collard greens or something. But there are a lot of vegetables out there that you don't even find in a grocery store, but you can find in seed form.
Yeah.
You can grow them out and then introduce these kids to something they would have never, especially being here in San Diego.
Well, and even something like tomatoes,
Yeah.
the varieties of
The
heirloom
different varieties,
tomatoes,
yeah.
and just even the shape of a tomato, how they can get. I think you guys, one of your shows, you were talking about indigo rose tomatoes, and I grow those at home, and just thinking like I need to do those at school because those are just so cool. But that's a simple way, just different varieties of tomatoes.
And
If
show
you're-
them a tomato that's not round.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tomato, and it doesn't look like a tomato. Well, it is a tomato.
It is a tomato, and it's going to taste so much better because we grew it ourselves, and it's not from the grocery store.
That's the key right there.
Yeah, and when kids do, my camp this summer, there was a little girl who just couldn't stop eating them because she had never had such sweet. And maybe you guys can. But I tell people that if you plant tomatoes with basil, it helps sweeten the tomatoes. Is that true, or did I just make that up in my brain?
Know, speaking of companion planting, one of the most famous books ever written was by Louise Riot, and it was called Carrots Love Tomatoes. And so
companion
those
plants.
are
because of the
too
shade
good.
the tomatoes provide.
Well, actually, the chemicals that get changed between the two. So
it's an exchange.
Yeah. So carrots do love
love
tomatoes. Her other book was Roses Love Garlic. You plant the two of those together.
We're going to take a break. We've got one more segment coming up. That's how fast this hour's gone. We love having you here. We're going to do one more break. Absolutely. So stay with us on Facebook Live. Questions, comments. Also, John at GardenAmerica.com. We're going to take a break and right back. This is Garden America. Happy Saturday to you.
Dad, can you pick me up? I'm at the impound yard.
The impound? What happened?
My car got towed for driving with no insurance, and now I need $500 to get my car back.
What? Oh, why didn't you call Cost You Less Insurance? They have rates as low as $1 per day. You could have avoided this whole mess.
$1 a day? What's their number?
It's 800-915-7555. 800-915-7555.
Thanks for the advice. Cost You Less Insurance could save me a lot of money. So can I borrow $500?
I think you better call Cost You Less now. 800-915-7555.
Cost You Less has rates as low as $1 a day. Tickets? No problem. Accidents? No problem. DUI? No problem. They can even insure you without a license. Cost You Less Insurance is where drivers in San Diego go to save money on their auto insurance. And they are open on Saturday. Call now. 800-915-7555. 800-915-7555.
Some restrictions and fees may apply. Quoted price for liability premium only.
Crispy beef taco, the classic fish taco, and more. It's the Fiesta Meal at Sombrero. Your choice of taco or tostada, plus a bean and cheese burrito, chips, salsa, and drink for just $7.49. Get your fix today.
Sombrero Mexican food.
We cater too.
I love GTM.
I really love GTM.
We love GTM too.
GTM, San Diego's #1 discount store, stocks its shelves daily with thousands of name brand items for home, office, school, family, and you. GTM buys closeouts, overstocks, displays, and discontinued items, and then offers them to you at up to 70% below other retailers. GTM delivers huge savings with a treasure hunt shopping experience every time you visit. Subscribe at gtmstores.com for your 20% off coupon.
And get the savings started.
Back to school time is right around the corner. Sorry, kids. Mom, that means it's time to buy new clothes and school gear. So where's the least expensive, least stressful place to do your back-to-school shopping? 2 words. Goodwill.
Excuse me, that's 1 word.
Well, think of it like 2 words for the price of 1.
What?
If you do your back-to-school shopping at Goodwill, you'll save money. Heck, you can get a whole outfit at a Goodwill store for under $20. We're talking name brand jeans, shirts, shorts, skirts, skorts, sports shirts, short shorts.
Say what?
I'm excited. I found the place to do back-to-school shopping for less with less stress. At Goodwill, you'll get quality, stylish clothing for less. And don't forget, Goodwill's the place to donate all your good stuff from last year that you don't have room to store anymore.
Yeah, but what if I don't find what I'm looking for?
You could fight the crowds at Tarmart.
No.
If you want to go back to school shopping, get some nice outfits, and pay less with less stress, and know the proceeds from your purchases will help people get jobs, go to Goodwill. For the back to school shopping Goodwill store nearest you, visit sdgoodwill.org. That's sdgoodwill.org.
It is Garden America. We are back. It is hour number 2, and believe it or not, our final segment already. Boy, oh boy, time really flying by here. John Bagnasco, Bryan Main, Tiger Palafox, and our great guest, Kaitlin from which school again?
Silvergate Elementary
School,
yes.
with this fantastic horticultural gardening program that you've developed. This is your template, right? And
yes.
So this is to be shared. We've talked about that,
yeah.
And just some wonderful things happening. And it's good to get them young because then by the time they get into junior high school, they've got a great background on gardening.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and she was just bringing out the curriculum that she created in the books that we have here. I have a shot of the books. This is what people can go to rutabagaeducation.com and actually purchase for a home school, for their own school, to start their own school program, just to do with their kids if they wanted to. And in the books, it has wonderful pictures. It has the recipes. We've got diagrams about photosynthesis and all of that stuff that you're going to need to be able to have this curriculum and be able to educate the children with it, right?
Absolutely. And the difference, sometimes people will ask me, what is a curriculum versus lesson plans or activities? And the idea of it being a curriculum is that the lessons, instead of being piecemeal and from all over the place, they're designed so that they build upon themselves for better comprehension.
Okay.
So they build upon themselves within each season, and there's 10 lessons per season. And then they build upon themselves from season to season so that you're still reinforcing that learned information, and then also from year to year, but each year you dive a little bit deeper. You can get a little bit more sciencey. You can tie in what's relevant with the math that they're doing in the classroom or the social studies. So that's why it's a curriculum. So
And she's put a lot of thought into just the creation of this. I mean, from the simple aspect that it's in a book that is very durable.
It's
kind
easy
of
to
somewhat
hold.
weatherproof
Yes.
because you're going to be outside using this. This is going to get set and probably left in the garden once or twice, that when you don't want to go out the next day and have it be ruined. You talked about how it's on the spiral bound, so if you want to make a photocopy, it's really easy just to go and put on the copy machine.
You don't have to lean on the copy machine and get that shadow line. And then
Yeah.
and the idea is that you have everything that you need to teach the lesson. So if you're talking about chlorophyll and photosynthesis, the diagram is there. If you could use a map, because you're talking about how potatoes started in the Andes and traveled to Europe, there's a map already there. So you don't have to bring these outside resources to the garden. So it takes away, because managing the kids outside
Oh my gosh.
is its own challenge, but you want to keep them engaged, and you don't want to have to be looking for things. You want it to be there and make it as easy as possible. and keep those kids engaged.
Anytime I was in school, we had a chance to go outside. Boom.
Boom.
We were there. We all loved it.
And
How
the
long did it take for the concept to develop?
5 years.
It took 5 years.
Yeah, it really, that first year when my older son was in kindergarten and I still had a 3-year-old, but I was a little bit obsessed with this, I will admit that. And I had to get a babysitter and outside help because I just wanted to see something that made sense in my brain and something that was really impactful.
Is it going to work?
And is it going to work?
Yeah.
And a lot of trial. And there were lessons and activities we did with the kid that we're no longer doing because I felt like they lost the kids' interest or they weren't impactful. Or and I wanted the teachers to know that if we were taking them out of the classroom, that we were going to make really, really good use of that time.
Right,
and it was going to be impactful because there's so much that teachers need to teach that I wanted them to know that
it wasn't
this
a waste.
is actually going to be something that's going to add to what you're teaching in the classroom, and it's not taking anything away. But it's also, they're going to come back, the kids are going to come back lighter, and they're going to have more confidence. They're going to get along better because there's that aspect of
So how's the reaction
cooperation.
been now? The school now knows that, she
the
knows
school-
what she's talking about.
Yeah, the school. So our school, this is what every classroom has a set, and then we have a set we keep in our garden shed for the volunteers. And once a week, I email the parents. This is what the lesson's about. Just a little 1 or 2 sentences. If it's about apples, optionally you can bring in apple slices. Parents show up about 20 minutes before. They kind of review the lesson and they teach it.
Yeah.
And it's been great. This has been our best year because we actually have the books. I used to have to email lessons, or we had a Shutterfly site and then people couldn't open the lesson. And now everybody has what they need.
Well, with school funding, no matter where you are, just being taken from
music classes and everything
all
else.
of that, right?
Sure,
Yes.
yeah.
You mentioned teachers. They want to make sure that the kids are getting educated no matter what they're doing with the time that they have because the teachers are being held to standards.
Yes.
But the nice thing about it is also you're giving, if you have a parent that's enthusiastic about this program, you're giving the teachers a moment in their day because this is you're not adding anything to the teachers' problems. You're actually taking this time. You're taking the kids. You're taking for an hour away from the teacher. The teacher gets the lesson plan, grade, prep, whatever it is, and then a parent volunteer or another person is actually going to take them and do this with them. And then when the kids come in, not only are they excited about learning, but they've also been exhausted a little bit, so the teacher can sit them down and read to them and do all that. But I mean, it's in this. I'm just flipping through this, and this is the what'd you say it was, the pre-K kindergarten winter season book.
Yeah.
It's not just plants because she's got a whole thing in here about birds in the winter. And creating a Cheerio bird feeder and fun
because
stuff.
Then that leads to animals make adaptations, and then when they're older, you talk about how plants also make adaptations, and then there's a lot of environmental science in here trying to just create Earth conscious citizens.
Yeah.
And so that is what you were just explaining. That's one way you can do it. At our school, we have an hour time block. Every classroom has an hour in the garden. We take half the kids, and then half the kids stay in the classroom for the first 30 minutes. And then that teacher has an opportunity to do something that they can do with a small group.
Yeah.
As opposed to whether it's guided reading or whether it's even technology, helping the kids get on, log into the computer, whatever it is, and then we switch. And then we take the second half of the classroom. But there's different ways you can do it. You can do it whole group. My friend is doing it whole group. You can do it with half the class, but whatever, you are giving that teacher a different way that they can be more focused with a smaller group of students. Because my older son has 30 kids in his class. So when we can take out 15 of those kids and they can do something that she can really focus on a smaller group, it's really helpful. So yeah, you help out the teachers in a lot of ways.
Well,
that's going to do
rutabagaeducation.com.
That's it, huh? rutabagaeducation.com.
Yeah.
I wanted to collaborate with her on this project, but she would not let it be called Bagnasco Education.
I had to.
So I said, all right, I'm
out.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know
It
what's
has
wrong
such
with
a
that.
nice ring to it and everything.
Hey, Kaitlin, thank you so much for coming in live.
Thank you guys.
We
This
really
was awesome.
appreciate
I
it.
really appreciate it.
A lot of
Thank you,
people watching
everybody.
you this morning, and we do appreciate that. So that's going to do it for this edition of A Garden America. Thank you so much for joining us. Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live, Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, and of course, Tiger Palafox, Kaitlin, our guest this morning. We'll see you again next week. Until then, have a safe week, and be sure to get growing America. Take care. Back here next week.